This is why I stand on the truth that I stand on specifically, is history never stops being the present till you learn the lesson. And what I mean by that is the people never wanted Moses. You see what I'm saying? Some of the people never wanted Moses to be Moses. Like, when God picked Moses for his assignment, Moses was like, who am I to talk to these people? And what God said was so powerful, because he also did it to me. Because I was like, God, who am I to talk to these people? I was born in a whole other country. Yeah, they may look like me, but some of them don't want to hear it, what you're telling me from me. And he's like, so he said, like, when they asked, like, what should I say? And he said, tell them that I am who I am. Like, I am the I am sent me. You understand? And what you guys have to understand is there is an attack specifically on the people in this land right here that affects the whole Americas. The enemy goal is to oppress you. His goal is to make you believe, one, that everybody's your enemy. And you need to come together and be scared in a little group because the whole world hates you. That's not true. People are inspired by you every day. People, if you travel up and down the Americas, you would be surprised how much love you would receive from your cousins. And that's why it always surprises me how people think like they need to go to Africa instead of, even if you're not 100% pleased with what's going on here, like, you should never go to Africa. If anything, pick another country in the Americas. There's Belize, there's Honduras, there's Guatemala. There's so many ways that you can experience peace. But the enemy, and that's what I see here, and I think one of the reason I wasn't born here, just by God showing me how it was to protect my mind, because he knew that if I was born in this system, I wouldn't be able to break it. And keep in mind, I'm not talking about the system. I'm talking about the oppression, the mental oppression that many people are facing. And it's not just here, but the consistency. Like, I've seen the consistent, because of where I was born, it means that I've entered multiple systems, right? So what God revealed to me is what we're seeking as a people isn't a thing. It's him. You understand what I'm saying? It's him that we're seeking. But the enemy wants you to want him. He wants you to feel like you need approval. This is why it's so funny to me how people want to talk about spirituality, but with no substance, because they know without the source, it's useless. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand. And what I'm going to respond to, what I'm going to talk about, because keep in mind, guys, we did a meeting yesterday. It was very powerful. If you haven't watched it, it is on YouTube. Go to Aboriginal Ministry of Justice. God sent out a warning, basically, to the people of Arna. And they're not happy about it because their judgment is hitting their homes. You see what I'm saying? Judgment is hitting their homes right now. And they are going to be repaid, not because of me, because of God. Every harm that they've done to people, it's going to turn back on them right now. And they're going to try to retaliate. Just pay attention to how, when Pharaoh finally let the people go, what did they do? They started to chase them. You see what I'm saying? Like, do not be surprised like there's anything new happening. You understand? People don't want you. You gotta go check our recent video on YouTube. We talk about that. But you want to understand that the enemy doesn't want you free. You understand what I'm saying? The enemy doesn't want you walking in who you truly are. The enemy wants to control your identity, meaning how you view yourself, how you view God, how you view the world, because they understand that as long as I can put you in a container, I can control you. But when you understand that you have a God that doesn't play about you, regardless of what happened, look how far you've come. You understand what our people have faced throughout the Americas, yet we still in the game? Like, that alone should let you know that you ain't nothing to mess with. Like, how many times have people crucified our name? And I mean, even each other. And we still rise. You see what I'm saying? But what I really want you guys to focus on is keep in mind that Moses grew up with Pharaoh. So imagine having to turn on your own, someone that you admire, someone that you love, to be honest, because God has called you. You see what I'm saying? God doesn't make, it's not easy. What many people don't understand is this was never easy, because I grew to love that person. And when I say love, is I've respected them. I appreciated what they did for the people. I benefited from what they did, but it was rotten. And at one point I thought it could be saved, and I thought maybe getting involved, it could be recovered. But as we kept going, the beast kept getting worse. You see, what God has revealed to me, and I never quite understood what it meant by not being yoked with unbelievers. And a lot of times people think that's talking about fate, but it's like, it also says, what does wickedness and darkness have in common? Like, why would wickedness and darkness be together? So if you find yourself in a situation where you're always going against what's going on inside you, you have to ask yourself, I am unequally yoked. Is it them or is it me? Like, you have to be willing. Am I wicked? And are they good? Like, why is this conflict? Because again, how can two walk together unless they agree? So you want to be in agreement with people that are in the same things as you. Because when you don't, there's always going to be conflict. You see, the enemy wants you to believe that God is this, that God is this God of just love. See, people don't quite understand because of the way things have been taught. God always says to be set apart. He always says, and not set apart in a way that you discriminate against other people. You understand? It's not about you having to be disrespectful towards other people, or having to think you're better than other people, or having to try to make yourself higher because you feel low. Like, that's not what it is. It's because you have to reflect who he sent you to be in this land. You have to carry yourself with wisdom, understanding the fruits of the Spirit. What are the fruits of the Spirit? You understand what I'm saying? But the enemy, that's why the enemy loves your anger so much. Because when you are angry, you never can think clearly. You see what I'm saying? The enemy wants you so in your feelings that you cause your very own demise. I'm telling y'all, like, God is not playing. God is not playing today. He is on the move. And many people that we love, to be honest, many people that we love is not going to make the cut. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Like, many people do not want to accept truth in this season for whatever reason. But one of the things that I can tell anyone is what I've learned on my own journey is that obedience to God is the only protection. Obedience to God is the only security you will ever have. Meaning, you walk where God tells you to walk. That's it. These systems, these people, wanting people to save you, wanting to be covered by anything other than God, will always fall short. Someone said, so are they under fire and taking it out on you? To be honest, they're not taking it out on me. They're taking it out on the people in this land. See, I'm just in their mind, I'm the easy target. What they really want is for you all to remain in shackles. God did give them the assignment. You see what I'm saying? But what many people don't understand is God will assign you, but God will be done regardless of how you feel. You see what I'm saying? So God has given how many people that are literally born from this land the opportunity to do what was necessary for the people that are here? How many? You see what I'm saying? But what did they choose to do instead? They have chosen to not hear God. They have mocked God. They have taken up idols. They have continued to try to exalt themselves. They have continued to use their platform to grow themselves, to steal from people, to try to make themselves great, to try to make themselves feel better versus turning the people back to God. And God has chosen someone from somewhere else. God will many people think they're important. I'm not important. I just want you guys to understand, like, anybody could be doing this. It's not because anything special about me. God will always look to choose the heart. God says, I see the heart. You see what I'm saying? Because people's hearts have become so hard, God will reassign your assignment. And I'm telling you guys this because this is to remind us never to think we're special. Like, stop letting people trying to let you to commit adultery with thinking if you could have, God, Mr. Gods, if you could have, look at your life. What if you were such a God? Why don't you have a good life? Why do you live depressed? Why do you live nobody wants to be around you? Why do you live in consistent chaos? I don't think anyone who's a God would ever, who got power as a God, would choose to be in such disruption. See, we want to see, because we have experienced such damage towards our identity, we want to feel peace in something. And a lot of times that has become trying to exalt ourselves, trying to make ourselves feel better by, well, if nobody says it to me, I'm going to say it to myself. And that's not the point. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you cannot you shall have no other God. You understand? Not even yourself. You become a joke when you make yourself a God. You don't even understand the title of such, like, for you to think the sovereign Lord and you can ever compare to each other is and what you're gonna see next is people getting humbled. Like, God is about to humble so many lowercase gods that they're going to start to become, like, the panic that's going to happen is going to be watched, because God has sent out a warning, and they're going to, just like how Pharaoh got upset when the people were finally free and walking, then he sent his little people after them. Guess what happened? We know the story. God opened up the Red Sea, and guess what happened? Those fools followed the people through, and they drowned behind them. I'm telling you guys, there's nothing new. So people are going to be angry on the internet. They're going to try to say more lies. They're going to try to say, and what you have to understand is the enemy goal is to mix a little bit of truth in the pot, because he knows that most of the time, many of us aren't really that in tune because we don't have an actual connection with the source, that we can be deceived with, because there's a little truth in the pot. Now we think that even though it has a bunch of trash in it, we still think that, well, there's the true ingredient, so it must be not swamp water. You see what I'm saying? Stop, guys. This is the season to judge everything, not by appearance, but by righteous judgment, because people are falling fast. I'm telling you, this year, you are going to see people who seem like they were untouchable. And it's so powerful because there's a prophetess her name is Tiffany Montgomery. And that's one of the things too, like there's people that came, like on my journey that God put in place that I ran into, and she was one of those people. And I can say that she some of the stuff that God placed in her for strategies, even in her own personal life, has become such tools that he has given me to even deal with these demons in this part and this level. Because the reality is we are dealing, see, the enemy wants you to see the physical. Okay, he wants you to believe that you are just dealing with people. You're not dealing with people, you're dealing with a spirit behind them. And that spirit goal is to take you out. And what I mean by that is sometimes evilness is really evil will always try to call you. The goal of evil, and this is what God showed me, is evil will always try to keep its hands clean. It will always try to be the first one to point the finger, so that instead of people looking at them, they look at you. So before you look over here, I'm going to say, oh, this is the evil person over here. And because people are not judging by righteous judgment, because they're just going by what they see, they miss that, wait, the evil person is actually that one over there. You see what I'm saying? So then now you're looking over here. Whole time the demon is behind you. You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You guys, I really want you to understand, like, all of the things that you are seeing and all the things you're going to see, it's not about me. It was never about me. Do you really think that the story of Moses is even about Moses? No, Moses didn't even make it into the promised land. Now, we know why he didn't. Your sister gonna make it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I already live in my promised land. I'm gonna just be honest, because God took away my desire. Like, I can't get angry no more. Like, what I mean, like, I can't get angry, it means that I don't get angry. I get sad. I can feel God wrath. Okay. And the difference between God's wrath and anger is it's a fury because you care so much about the right thing that you want justice. You see what I'm saying? So that's a different kind of wrath, but a lot of times it can be interpreted as anger, but it's not anger. But what I want you guys to pay attention in this season is how the enemy will try to, and you got to remember too, guys, I really want you guys to pay attention as much as so first off, the enemy doesn't have any new tricks. Okay, I really want you, if you're here, I pray right now that you leave this live realizing that you already won. Okay, let me just bring that up. You already won. But what the enemy wants to do, because he has no more tools, especially once you know who he is, he has nothing else. You understand? So he has to use the same boring lie, same boring weapon, same conversation. Oh, you're not important. Oh, you aren't this, you aren't that. So all you're going to hear is the same noise. And he hopes that you don't know who you are in God. He hopes that you don't understand that you were fearfully and wonderfully made. He hopes that you don't understand that all things work together for the good of those who are called according to God's purpose. He hopes that you don't understand the power that God has given you, because then you would need him. You see what I'm saying? This is the season where God is raising up righteousness in the land, because people who he has appointed didn't do their jobs. See, people want to say, oh, you're taking this, or you're fighting for this, or that's why they want to say it that way, because they want you not to understand, like, God is removing them, and God has removed them. God has removed a lot of people. Like, don't put yourself on a pedestal, because God will humble you. You know, the Bible says before a fall, what comes? Pride. You thinking you that, God gonna make an example of you. That's why I stay in a child's place. Like when I tell you, you ain't gonna get me to compare myself to no God, because I know the God of all gods. You see what I'm saying? And he don't play that. He don't play that. So that being said, when we see how when these people were leaving Egypt and Pharaoh said, okay, finally, let them go. God turned his heart. God wanted the people of Egypt to drown for what they did to his people. So God made those people follow those people to the Red Sea, just so they could drown. Now, what's so crazy is the people started getting scared. They started, oh my gosh, we should have just stayed. We should have just, and it's like, how could you think God gonna free you and let the same people that he told free you get you again? It's impossible. Anna already tried to take me down. The fact that they think this isn't even a conversation at this point. You see what I'm saying? But they know that there's still people who are not operating in full discernment. So they're going to try to use the old tactics, hoping you don't understand. Like it's just the same la 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 story, and make you try to fear them. You see what I'm saying? I ain't scared. Let's just be honest. If they had, like, you imagine, I would I don't even, you know why I don't really talk about other people and other systems in a general, like a lot of times, is because I know the authority that we have in the Xi-Amaru Republic. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to try to compare my system to any other system. Because at the end of the day, my system is my system. This system is one protected by God, and it is God given. So anyone that comes up to us, we got an answer for. Now, one of the things though that I've learned is that the enemy, what he wants more than ever, and I really want you guys to understand, is for you to fear systems. Like, if you pay attention, you're gonna start to see a pattern of the people that come against us. Is they're going to always try to use the very system that they're claiming they want to be protected from, but they're actually wanting to use that system to try to oppress the very people who want to be free, the very people who are like, we don't cry to the federal government for support. Our people do not have their operations running just because another system is funding it. You see what I'm saying? We don't, guess what? That also means if we don't get anything, we don't eat. See, they ain't built like that. You see what I'm saying? But the first thing their defense is, oh, I'm gonna go tell Big Daddy. Wait, I thought you were a government. Why you need those people? You handle your business. Like, we would never threaten people over here and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go tell such and such. The reason they're like, well, he said, sue me, baby. I am. Who told you you ain't gonna get sued? But we busy building. But what do I look like as the chief of the Xi-Amaru Republic suing you in another jurisdiction? That sounds stupid. Like, we building. Don't worry, it's coming. But you will never see us going to another person to handle our business, because when we gonna handle it right. So you just be patient. I'm telling you, every single person that rises against us will answer. And one of the things that, you got to remember what Moses told the people when they were at the Red Sea. You got to remember. Sometimes you got to just stand still, y'all. Like, you don't even understand. Like, so much is falling because it's supposed to. The Bible said, let everything that can be shaken be shaken. You see what I'm saying? So that what cannot be shaken remains. So don't get alarmed when you see people being shaken. Now, get alarmed if you know you ain't standing on nothing. You better adjust. But we ain't scared of nothing over here because there is nothing false about us. You see what I'm saying? This nation was not birthed by pride. It was not birthed because Nnakina didn't have any friends. It was not birthed because Nnakina didn't know who she was. It was not birthed because Nnakina needed people to like her. It was not birthed because I never had no friends. You understand? It was not birthed because Nnakina needed money. You see what I'm saying? It's not birthed because Nnakina needed anything. It was created because God wanted a system, and he knew that there is only a certain type of heart in this season that he could trust. So why haven't we seen a lot of progress as a people? I'm telling y'all, just open your eyes, and I don't mean your physical eye, I mean your spiritual eye. Look at how these people who even Arna don't have a lot of power, but keep in mind that people have given their information to Arna on their life, right? And with the very little power that they do have, they have used their system to threaten, to oppress, to intimidate people, to abuse people, to shrink people, to shut people up who don't fall in line. Now imagine that system being in full capacity. Do you really think that's a system that's going to free and work for the people? Do you really think that's a system? You know, God will test you with little to see how you handle it, just to know whether he can trust you with more. And if you abuse on a little level, you're going to abuse on a big level. You see what I'm saying? And God is like, you're not about to play with my people. You're not about to play with God's people. And that's why they mad. You don't think the attack is on me? They mad because the attack is on them. God is not pleased with the abuse that has continued to go on in his region. That's the crazy part about it, is we're talking about the Americas. People have used systems, even the ones that look like you, have used systems to oppress God's people because they are broken. That's really what it comes down to. It's supposed to be systems that we are creating to build and advance our people and protect our people, but you're using it to oppress. So you just want a system to oppress others, identified as nation building. So what you're really saying is you wish your system had the full capacity to abuse. God said time is up. Time is up. And they're falling. God has given them 24 hours since last night. So it ain't even 24 hours anymore. And all of those who have came against me, came against God's innocent people, meaning people who paid them money, waiting for services, people that they start to ignore, people that when they ask them questions, they give them the runaround, the people that they have could help and didn't help, the people that they've turned away, the people that and I'm not just talking about now, I'm talking about this has been going on for years. This has happened before I even got here. You see what I'm saying? And God has let it go on long enough, because what is about to happen is you will not escape this wrath of God that's about to fall on you. You will not prosper anymore. God is taking away everything from Ali Muhammad. Everything that Ali has built, God is taking it away because he used what God gave him to make himself a God, instead of giving honor to who honor is due. You see what I'm saying? That's not what we do. You cannot take God's glory and think you're going to be safe. I really want you guys to understand, you cannot take God's glory and think you're going to be safe in these streets. There is no, Nnakina ain't got no hell. You see what I'm saying? I ain't got a hell to put nobody in. I don't have one. I don't even have a jail. I don't need one because I know who got one. You see what I'm saying? So, and keep in mind, guys, hell don't mean just you go to hell. You could live on earth in hell. You can live in, and you know what that means? Your family hates you. Your people hate you. Your business don't grow. You never prosper. You live in torment, high anxiety, high depression, always paranoid, always thinking somebody out to get you. That is God's wrath that's going to fall on you. You're going to be, I'm telling you, people watch this man, because let him be an example what happens when you try to elevate yourself and take God's glory. God will take what you have and give it to your neighbors. You know, he mad because he pay attention. He's not upset that people were damaged, let's say, or injured, if it was so true that I was out here hurting the community. No, it's where's the money? Huh? That's the story. Where's the money? They show you who their God is. Y'all just need to pay attention. You see, what they don't understand is I got more than money. I got something that's better than money. Okay? You want to know what it is? Drop some fire, y'all, if you want to know what I got that's better than money. Drop some fire in here. Show me some love. Let me know you all listening. Drop some fire. You hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. That's more than money.
Mommy?
Come here. Go ahead over there, baby. Close the door. I got more than money. You see? I got